Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how meditation is in a mess and how you might like to avoid most forms of meditation as it's currently taught if you really want to go deep with this work.
This is a Deep Psychology podcast. I'm your host, Ross Edwards, writer, meditation teacher, founder of deep-psychology.com, and avid lover of all things psychological. In listening to this podcast, you're part of the worldwide deep psychology community of tens of thousands of people undertaking profound personal transformation. You can join us on any of the major podcasting platforms and make sure to visit the site deep-psychology.com for lots of high quality resources. Let's get started.
So meditation is in a mess. Have you noticed? I've certainly noticed. What am I talking about? Because it might sound kind of like I'm joking here. And listen, I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but I'm also really not exaggerating at the same time. Like, this is kind of a tongue-in-cheek episode, but it's also a very dead serious topic as far as I'm concerned. What do I mean by this about meditation being in a mess? Right. Well, basically, the way that most people think meditation works is that in meditation we are trying to relax. We're trying to relax, we're trying to shut off our mind, and we're trying to feel good. And that's it. End of story. So if you ask most people, what is meditation? That's pretty much what they're going to tell you. And they're going to say, oh yeah, I meditate sometimes. I meditate when I feel like I need it. And I meditate, I use YouTube guided audios, or I use Headspace, or I use any other of the popular apps. That's typically sort of the general response that you'll find people give you. And you might ask them, what about mindfulness? And basically the common thing you'll get with mindfulness is pretty much the same thing. Like, the two are really they're sort of confounded and confused and sort of smudged together artificially. That's pretty much the state of meditation now. In terms of like, what is the 80-20? What's the 20% of everything to know about meditation that 80% of people focus on? That's what it is. It's sort of relaxation and turning off your mind. And you might ask, well, what's that got to do with meditation being in a mess? That is the mess. I know it sounds blunt to say it like that, but that the focus being on relaxation and on feeling a certain way, that is the mess that I'm talking about. That is why meditation is in a mess. That is why people have a very shallow, surface level, childish is kind of a harsh word to use. Let's call it simplistic, because childish is kind of a harsh word, but from a certain point of view it is quite childish. Very simplistic view of meditation and what it's about and what the ultimate goal of meditation is. And listen, when I see people advertising meditation in this way, or I see YouTube channels that have got millions of subscribers, I'm not bitter, not at all, who've got millions of subscribers, and they're sort of teaching guided meditations, and it's like, relax, and feel good, shut off your mind, and all this. Listen, I don't know exactly what they say to you to do, but I can get the gist of it. when I see that, part of me kind of hates it because I think, I don't know, part of me just kind of hates it because I've done meditation for a decade and I'm like, how can you possibly simplify meditation to that or reduce it to that? It annoys me from that point of view, from the point of view of like, what are we teaching people and what ideas are we creating about meditation? But also it makes me sad, for several reasons. One is that if this is your idea of meditation, if this is what you think meditation is, and if this is what you practice it for, and your point of view never evolves beyond that, no matter how long you practice it, you're leaving so much on the table. It's hard to begin to describe what you're leaving on the table. It's kind of, that's one of the tricky things about teaching meditation, is that people often ask you, why do you meditate, or what are the benefits of meditation, or what is meditation? And it's like, I've almost thought about preparing like a ready-made answer, because it's kind of like asking someone, what is exercise, what are the benefits of exercise, and why do you do it? If you wanted to give a complete answer to that question and not sort of oversimplify or reduce it or leave the person confused or leave them sort of with a very sort of tainted view of what it is, you'd have to really prepare like a very fine-tuned answer. You're leaving so much on the table. I can't begin to describe it to you because it's hard to describe in ways that ordinary people will understand who've never done meditation or not done much of it. All I can say is that go and look at the science. Go and look at the science behind the intermediate meditators. Go and look at the science behind veteran meditators and the kind of things that they've measured in them. And I've got articles on this. You can search benefits of meditation on my website, deep-psychology.com. This stuff is about far more than just relaxing for 20 minutes. If I were to try to put it succinctly, I would say it is a profound transformation of who you are. A profound transformation of what you think, who you think you are, and what you think life is, and why you think things work the way they do. A profound level of personal change, and a profound level of relating to yourself as a human being, and of relating to life, both the good and the bad of life. That's why when I see people talking about meditation being relaxation, it's just like, like you're so missing out. I don't want to imply that if you've never meditated before, that you're fat, but it's kind of the same thing as like someone who's really overweight and obese and eats terrible food and never exercises. There's a difference between that person and like a seasoned, maybe not like an Olympic athlete, right? But, a seasoned runner or a seasoned cyclist or a seasoned weightlifter, the levels of fitness that a person like that would have. Compare the two, right? And imagine that the overweight person comes to you and tells you, I go to the gym for half an hour, every couple of days because it makes me feel good. But you look at that person 2 or 3 years down the line and they still eat terrible food, they still are seriously overweight, they still don't look healthy, they still have, mobility issues, and etc, 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 all the potential side effects that can come with severe obesity. And you're starting to get an idea of the level of difference there is between someone who hasn't meditated and someone who has meditated. But this, as I said, this is like the 80-20. This is like the 20%. It's even less than 20%, to be honest with you. 20% of all meditation knowledge and sort of techniques that 80% of people focus on is just relaxation. It's like telling someone to go to the gym for half an hour every couple of days because they're going to feel good, and that is literally the end of story. So now you're starting to get an understanding of why I think meditation is in a mess. It also makes me sad because when I'll give you an example, right? I've recently created a course called Mindfulness for Students, and I'm currently promoting it to universities across the world. And I've had several universities linking to it, including Cambridge University. They now recommend it as part of their, it's like student wellbeing resources. If you go to a lot of these university websites, I'm not going to name names, but most of them, if you go, let's say you'd never done meditation before, you'd never done mindfulness, and you went there and you're like, I'm going to learn about it, and I'm going to I'm going to use the resources, and I'm going to become a good meditator. You would leave with this idea, that meditation is about relaxation and feeling good and calming the mind and blah 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 blah. And not only that, because a lot of this stuff is very sort of mainstream, it's like the apps, the big apps that you've probably known about if you're watching this episode, and things like university websites. It's not just that they say that this is maybe like the beginning of meditation, and that's maybe a good thing to do because it'll sort of get you inspired and it'll help you sort of relieve some of the stress in your life. They don't say that. They paint it the way they paint it, because they themselves probably think that that's what it is. They paint it as that this is meditation. That is all it is. This little thing, this little tiny part of meditation that is not even necessary, but we'll get to that, is meditation. That is all it is. That is all it is. That really pains me as a meditator, for someone who's been doing it for nearly 10 years, and I've studied with some world-class meditation teachers, and I've studied the highest set of Buddha's teachings that remain with us. It gives me a lot of pause. That another analogy for you is like times tables and mathematics, right? So let me ask you this question: where do times tables fall in the grand scheme of things of mathematics? What role does it play in mathematics? And how much of mathematics is times tables, and how much of mathematics depends on times tables? Now, obviously, the way that you'll answer this question depends on how much mathematical study you've done. But let me tell you now that if you were to equate mathematics with times tables, and to believe that they were kind of, to talk about one would be to be talking about the other, you would be so shockingly ignorant of mathematics and what the scope of mathematics and of the breadth of application and the depth of what mathematics studies. If you were to reduce that all to the times tables, it would be like a very sad case of sheer ignorance and sheer reductionism. And obviously, in a sort of colloquial way, that's what we do with mathematics, because that's what people learn, because they learn times tables when they're 5 years old or whatever, and it sort of, it sticks in the mind as like maybe like a fun memory from school. Obviously, it's not fun for everyone, but it's like a cute fun memory from school. But with meditation, this relaxation thing is not just like a cute idea. It's people actually, they literally just equate the two. And then everything you see out there, well, not everything, but 80% of it, possibly even higher than that, is just that. It's just, lie down in a quiet space, put your headphones in, close your eyes, listen to me talking, and in 20 minutes you're going to feel good. I'm pausing quite a lot here because it's shocking, really. It's shocking in terms of like just it's surprising, and it's like, whoa, that's quite shocking and alarming and like, whoa. But it's shocking in terms of like the fact that people are actually spreading this idea. I alluded earlier to like the fact that maybe relaxation does play a role. So let me just talk about that. So let me sort of go into the nuances here a little bit. If you feel relaxed during a meditation session, that is a pleasant effect. It's not guaranteed, it's not necessary, and it's not a goal to strive for, really. Now again, I'm talking in very broad terms, with all different kinds of meditation, there's sort of tiny little nuances that I could go into, but broad terms, that's what it is. It's a possible pleasant effect that you can have from meditation, but it's not necessary, and it's not even a goal. The teachers that I've trained with, who are again some of the most well-trained meditation experts in the world, they do not mention this as a goal. They simply do not mention it. If you don't feel relaxed during meditation, it is not a problem. You're not, let's put it this way. You don't have to measure your meditation success through how relaxed you feel. And what's more, if you do, you're really just going to get very frustrated, because let me put it starkly, right? Sometimes life feels like shit. Sometimes being human is shit. Sometimes you feel like shit. It's part of the human condition. Sometimes in meditation you're going to feel like shit. Sometimes you're going to have emotional challenges. Sometimes your mind is going to be plagued with thoughts about all sorts of things. Does any of that mean that you're not meditating? No, it doesn't. It's not even... Whether or not you are practicing your meditation technique correctly is not a function of what you're experiencing in your body and mind. Now, practicing the technique correctly, again, this is very broad, high level, but in general terms, practicing the technique correctly can help if you are in such a state like that. It can help. But even if it doesn't, that is not the measure here. That is not what we're measuring here. To sum that up, relaxation is not a measure for meditation success. I really just want you to seriously just take that on for the rest of your meditation career. Relaxation is not a measure of meditation success. And furthermore, listen, I'll be very honest with you. If that is your measure for meditation success, you're not actually meditating. You can call it meditation if you want. Part of this is a word game. Where do you draw the line? And yes, there are ways to draw the line, and I do draw the line in my articles on several occasions. I don't want to get into that here, but listen, as far as I'm concerned, if that's what you're trying to do, you're really not meditating at all. I'm sorry. I'm just being very honest with you. It's not meditation. So meditation is in a mess because this is the focus we give it. We give it this focus of it's about relaxation, which, as I've alluded to, it's such a tiny part of it, and it's not even necessary. Like, I've said what I wanted to say about that. It's irrelevant, really. And listen, understand, I don't want to make it sound like I'm blaming people for wanting to feel relaxed. I mean, that's fine. Listen, I have my ways of relaxing. I'm outside right now in the countryside. This is one of the ways I relax and get away from, the things I do every day and the sort of stresses that I have in my life. We all need that. Otherwise, we're just sort of on alert all the time. Especially if we've got busy lives and we live in a busy city, for example, and we've got a lot of obligations. We need those moments, right? I'm not trying to diss people's needs for relaxation. What I'm trying to get at is this equating meditation with relaxation, because that is very problematic. And interestingly enough, if you do meditation for long enough, and if you do meditation for 5-10 years regularly, you're part of a very small minority of people, even small minority of people who've done meditation in their lives. So if you're a part of that group, congratulations. But if you do it for a sufficient length of time, you'll realise that it empowers you. I'm not saying that I can do this perfectly, right? But it empowers me, it empowers you, it empowers us to take on life regardless of whatever it throws at us. To the point where, again, I don't want to make it sound like an on-off switch, as though you've not done meditation and then you do meditation, all of a sudden you're perfect at it, because it's really just a scale. It's just sort of a spectrum and an endless process of growth. But basically meditation will change how you see life, how you see yourself, how you experience your body, how you experience your mind, how you experience your senses, how you experience your thoughts, how you conceptualize your life, how you conceptualize past and future, how you conceptualize other people, how you view your problems, how you view pain, how you feel pain in your body, how you relate to problems in your life, how you relate to pain in your life. And I'm just rambling off a long list of effects here. It will change all that stuff to such a degree that in moments of difficulty and stress, you will not have to change how you feel. Does that mean you can't look at it and recognise, right, okay, I feel stressed right now? No. Do you immediately feel amazing all the time? No. You realise what feeling shit really is. You realise what emotional difficulty really is in a way that you've probably never understood before. And it gives you your entire life back. Instead of having to induce relaxation artificially, it's not even that you seek relaxation, it's that you have a way to deal with everything in a totally new way that makes you free of the need to feel a certain way. So I could certainly keep talking about this topic, but I feel like I've covered the main points here as to why meditation is in a mess. What are the takeaways here? I don't want to say, come and learn meditation with me. You're welcome to come and learn meditation with me. I would say, listen, if feeling relaxed helps motivate you, and it helps get you a little glimpse of what meditation is about, and it helps you feel more comfortable in your body, and it helps you actually sit, be able to do nothing for 20 minutes instead of running around all the time, it's a good introduction, right? It's a good enough introduction. Beyond that, it's not really going to do very much for you in and of itself, right? So you want, in broad terms, you want to seek out resources that are going to take you beyond that stuff. Things like Vipassana, things like proper mindfulness. Things like, I say proper mindfulness because a lot of mindfulness is now just being reduced to relaxation. Things like Zen. And when you get advanced levels, you want to start looking at things like Mahamudra, Dzogchen, non-dual traditions, tantric Buddhist traditions, and so on. You want to kind of build in some sort of learning path for yourself over the course of months and years. If you don't, you're going to be sitting there trying to feel relaxed 5, 10, 15, 20 years into the future, and you'll look back and realise that you're probably not seeing the growth that is possible and that you might suspect is possible and that you deserve, really, for all that work. Alright everyone, I'll leave you there to marinate in everything that we've talked about today. Thanks a lot. Do visit the site deep-psychology. I said dash, but dash is kind of ambiguous, so let's call it deep-psychology.com. If you go to the articles there, you're going to find plenty of articles on meditation, at least 24, I can't remember now how many now, at least 24, and you're going to find courses there on meditation as well if you want to learn with me. You're absolutely welcome to. I'd love to see you there. And listen, deep psychology is really gaining momentum. I just want to share that. I get almost, it's around 1,000 users a day on the website now, which is, that equates to tens of thousands of people every month, and into the hundreds of thousands of people every year. So yeah, I'm keen to just keep growing this community and keep sharing this knowledge, things that have changed my life, things that I've studied, things that I've read, things that I teach to other people. So yeah, stick around, subscribe to the channel, make sure to keep coming back to the website every few days. I publish there regularly. And do write to me, ross@deep-psychology.com, if you want to ask anything or request an episode or whatever, or just chat. Alright, I'm off. Thank you again. See you soon.
Thanks for listening. If you liked this episode, please leave a review. And if you'd like to get in touch, you can email me at ross@deep-psychology.com. If you'd like to go deeper, head to deep-psychology.com for articles, courses, ebooks, and one-to-one coaching. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.